Hey everybody, this is Kohdok here, and today we're going to be looking at the Pokemon Mega Construx. These were things that I showed off back at Mattel's booth at Toy Fair, and I thought they had originally been slated for a fall release, but it turns out that they have already started appearing in stores. I found this one, Wartortle, at Target. Wartortle here was 10 bucks. It comes with the built-up Wartortle, Wartortle being the evolution of Squirtle, which is my favorite Generation 1 starter, and it's $10 for 97 pieces, so roughly on the curve that you would normally get these Lego pieces for, but does it measure up to Lego pieces? And that kind of depends on what you do. You of course have the Wartortle here, heavily brick built. I really like the brick built look. Really, the only pre-molded part is are the components for the head, and even this one, the back of the head is a round dome, but it's got a lot of things that resemble mixel joints on the arms and the legs. It has actually a lot of really interesting and unique pieces. You can see the brick-built, how brick-built the tail is right here. If we turn it around a little bit, you can see the tail is actually completely brick-built. It has some unique pieces. It has these screw pieces, which are pre-printed. Everything is printed. There are no stickers in this set, which I'm sure will make some of you out there quite happy. It also comes on this gigantic diorama that has a Pokeball. The Pokeball is actually a loose component that nests here, and it has some special effect pieces as well as some kind of oddly shaped ground pieces. They kind of remind me of like the stuff you'd see in Mega Bloks Dragons, like those special terrain pieces. Anyway, let's take a good look at Wartortle here, and it is nice and easy to do now that I have, I got myself a nice small turntable so I can 360 this figure whenever I want. Wartortle is very, very purple here. I don't know if I remember Wartortle being that purple, but that's just kind of how the blocks were colored out. Purple and yellow. Maybe, I guess if I have a nitpick about the design, it's maybe they could have done some more purple on these components here, although I'd have to double check, but it's got a lot going on. It has a couple of flaws. The only really big flaw is, if you notice here, its head kind of has a large gap, and what it is it's because the set comes with two of these round pieces. One goes on top, one goes on the bottom, and is how the neck gets secured. So yeah, these sorts of pieces here, you see them on Gyarados as well, these kind of hook pieces here, these feather point pieces that make up the ears. I think this is actually a pretty clever build, and it has a lot of really clever pieces, which I'll go over in a bit. Let's take him off his diorama for a second here. So, the shell here is actually all brick built. It doesn't use any hinges, and these are actually in sectioned pieces, so it's actually all nice and sectioned out. It uses some studded slopes, which is a piece that I do not think Lego has made yet. This actually contains a lot of pieces that I don't think Lego has made yet, and I'm not just referring to the ones that are pre-molded, like the hands and the feet. I'm also talking about, like, there are a lot of interesting pieces. I'll open up the manual and go into them later. The build is fairly involved, and it's fairly sturdy. There's a bit of a problem with the tail. The tail is a little fragile, but, and it connects onto some more unique parts here. The tail is a tiny bit fragile, and that's a little bit of a problem. So, that's a look at Wartortle. Oh yeah, this shell on the back here, it's actually a fairly solid piece with a lot of the underpinnings. It's not like the round disc you usually get with the Lego parts. So now let's take a look at the diorama. The diorama, it's designed to be a sandy beach. It also has some water effects, which I guess you can turn and put in other places to make it look like Wartortle is performing an attack. I think maybe this was a bit of a waste, because this was 10 bucks for the whole thing, keep in mind. If it was $10 and it was... if they had, like, done a smaller diorama or made it so that you get just Wartortle in the set for, like, $7 or $8, that might have been a little bit better than a lot of these diorama parts. Diorama parts, a lot of non-Lego brands have really been pushing these dioramas. You especially see that with, like, Enlighten. All of their minifigures now have dioramas. And all of the Pokemon have dioramas, except for the ones that come in the little Pokeballs. But then again, I guess you could argue that those little Pokeballs are themselves a diorama. So, here is a very slow 360. A very slow 360 of the Wartortle you can take a look at. I have been talking to Mattel, and apparently their PR people have not been sent any of these yet for review for anybody, so it might be a while before I'm able to get, like, Gyarados or Charizard. They also have Pikachu, they have the other starters, they have Eevee, Abra, Machop, Magikarp, and, what is it? Zubat. Yeah, they have all of those. I might have swapped out Machop, Abra, and Zubat for maybe the Generation 7 starters, but I guess it wasn't my decision to make. The Generation 1 starters are all kind of friendly towards this kind of limb design, and I guess as long as it's not the Ionix brand, we're doing pretty good. Now, a funny thing about Mega Construx is that they, I got this box at Toy Fair. It's like a weird kind of really fancy box. It almost feels like it's covered in like a kind of rubber. It's like they're trying to push it as like this big, grand, new experience, and I guess it seems so pretentious as to be nearly silly, and I guess I can understand a bit of why they were up to that. But taking a look at some of the parts they have in here, I can kind of see some of that. So here is the parts list, and yeah, all the good parts are on here. So they have made their own versions of the Mixel joints. You can see that right here. They also have one thing that Mega Bloks likes to do that we haven't seen LEGO do yet is they have double-sided stud blocks, as in both sides of the brick are studded, allowing you to clip things directly one over the other. These are very popular outside of LEGO. I'm kind of surprised LEGO hasn't come out with them yet, but these Pokemon sets are using a lot of these sorts of pieces to the fullest. Of course, we also have the studded slopes. We have this kind of studded slope where it's a 1x2, that's a single slope. And then we should, oh, I thought I had them in here, the 1x2, that is also a double slope. Yeah, right here, that's another studded plate right there. It's a 1x2 that is also it's a double slope that has studs, allowing you to do some sloped pieces. We have this little slanted piece here, which I think LEGO's come out with, but I don't know how much they've utilized it. We have some pieces. This is actually a single piece that has a side stud like halfway down, which allows you to make like two high pieces, or heck, I could imagine seeing these being used as like the wheels of a skateboard or something. We have a round stud, double studded piece. We have some of these clear pieces that go into the pieces that have the holes, such as this double studded plate, or some of the others. They also have a double studded double Mixel joint. These, you get a couple of these to mount the arms and the legs onto. And these are really interesting because I've actually meddled in that kind of modeling before, where you actually make your own figures and stuff like that. And these kinds of Mixel pieces are an essential component to that. So seeing these kinds of things are all very nice. We have the domes. We have a double stud round piece, which is the central component of the Pokeball. Here's that piece that makes up the head that I talked about. And like I said, the only really pre-molded part is Wartortle's face. The back of the head is actually just an ordinary dome. And we have another dome over here. We got some more domes. These are pre-printed. They're just tiles. But yeah, aside from these diorama parts over here, everything is nice and Lego-y, just the way I like it. So let's see. And on the back of the instructions, we have our full set. It has our Pokemon. We have a couple of Pikachus. We have Magikarp, Wartortle, Eevee, Abra, Ivysaur, Charmeleon, which seriously needs to go on a diet. We also have like the Pikachu versus Bulbasaur and the Charmander versus Squirtle, which also have some very impressive dioramas. I'm seeing a lot of recycled parts, like I'm seeing these fins on Gyarados. I'm also seeing them on Charizard and on Zubat. I'm seeing some more of those points. I'm also seeing them being used as leaves. This is a very interesting series. It'll be interesting to see how far it gets pushed. I love how all of these non-LEGO brands have really been pushing themselves to make better and better and better figures. Like that Abra is also very impressive. I'll see if I can get a handle on some of these. I will definitely be checking into Mattel again to see if I can get some more of these. But yeah, that is the Mega Construx Wartortle. I hope most of that was in focus. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking at more Mega Construx when I get the chance. I'm definitely going to pick up that Gyarados. I might try to pick up some of the smaller ones as well. So that is a look at Pokemon Mega Construx, and until next time, this is Kohdok signing off.